How can I get my coworkers to like me more? Parte dos.
DanTheGunnerTraining.com.
So if you haven't yet seen the first video in this series on how to get people, especially your coworkers, to like you more, make sure to click on that card up above. Or you can also wait until the end of this video where you can check that out, as well as get your free communication starter kit at DanTheGunnerTraining.com.
Oh, I want to go get that kit.
All of that said, what do I do? Be scarce. Let's talk about the law of scarcity. How did Amazon become such a powerhouse company? One of the things that they did was the same thing that our other online powerhouse friend did, eBay. Remember that Amazon and eBay both have one huge thing in common that makes their products seem so valuable and desirable. There's a limit. There's a limit on how many of them there are. When you go to Amazon or when you go to eBay, it'll tell you only 3 left, only 2 left, only 1 left. Yet, what a lot of people do is they make themselves too available. Don't do that. You know, whether you're looking to get a date, make a friend, or be seen as valuable at the office, don't always be seen. You know, let people know there's only so much of me to go around. Now, don't tell them that. Show them that. So let's say, for example, we're talking about work. You do not always want to be seen. You know, like during lunchtime, is there someplace you can go other than the cafeteria? Is there something you can do other than sit with your coworkers? After work, if everybody goes out with one another, don't do that all the time. Show yourself to be busy. Don't always go to the social gatherings. Don't always be seen with the group. Don't always eat lunch with everybody. You know, let's say that we're talking about where you tend to meet people. I mean, I don't know where you tend to meet people. Let's say that it's at, a church social. That means an online dating application. You don't always want to be seen on the app. I mean, on the end of the pew. If somebody comes into the church and says, who's that chick at the end of the bar? Or who's that guy at the end of who's that person in the pew? You don't want somebody to be able to say, oh, they are here every day. They are always here. I'll tell you their story. Just look. But wait a minute, who's that? You want to be who's that person? Human beings are naturally attracted to and want things that we believe are in limited quantities. If you want to increase your perceived level of value, do things to let people know there's only so much of you to go around. If I want to take advantage of the opportunity, I need to take it now, or I might not have it later. That's the law of scarcity. Be quiet. One of the most surefire ways to prevent self-sabotage in terms of our public image is to not say anything. When we are quiet, what that means is not literally to be quiet or to, always talk in a low tone and be a low talker at work. The people are like, what? That really means is if you are more conscious of not giving your input unless you're asked for it because your words and your thoughts are actually valuable. Remember that we show people and we show the world and we show ourselves in many different ways what we believe our value is. And then the world follows suit, We cannot expect people to value us more than we value ourselves, right? We know that. In fact, it's an impossibility that other people are going to believe us to be more valuable than we believe ourselves to be. We first set our value. It's really difficult to fake it. However, remember to subscribe to be kept in the loop of all the new things that we're coming out with, like What's Back, our Sunday Principle of the Week. Subscribe, be reminded, be kept in the loop. I'll see you on the inside. Let's say that we are trying to increase our perceived value. One of the best things we can do is keep things to ourselves. People who really believe that what they have to say, the input they have to give, their opinions are valuable, don't go giving them out all over the place for free. If you're always evaluating what's going on at work and offering your 2 cents worth, and you're not getting paid to do that, if nobody's asking you for it, but you're giving it for free, why would you do that? Do you not believe that it's worth anything? Do you believe that everything is your business? What is it? You'll notice that those who other people believe to be valuable, those people whose opinion other people tend to hold in high regard and value, are people who generally keep those opinions to themselves. So what we want to do is, when you want people around you, whether it's at the bar, at work, at home, whomever it may be, When you want other people to listen to what you have to say, don't say too much. Keep your opinions to yourself. And then when you have an opinion, be thoughtful about it. Don't overdo it. Don't say too much. The less we say, the more people tend to find us intriguing, interesting, and value not just what we have to say and what our thoughts are, but they value us. And when they value us more, they tend to like us more. And remember, liking somebody or valuing them doesn't necessarily mean that you want to hang out with them all the time. So it's not that we want people to want to hang out with us all the time. That would be impossible to try to get everybody to want to hang out with us all the time. I really like and love and value my mother. I don't want to hang out with her. Work hard. Now, especially if we are at work, this tends to be for those of us who want to get our coworkers to like us more. But in general, we like people who work hard. We do not like people who do not work hard. We don't like freeloaders. We don't like ne'er-do-wells. Be somebody who at least appears to be a hard worker, but especially if you're at work. Nobody likes people for whom they believe they are picking up the slack. If you're a slacker, that's where a slacker comes from. People have to pick up the slack for you. So remember, especially at work, if people are on the fence about whether or not they like you and they believe that they have to do one extra thing for you or because of you, you're doomed. So at least give the perception of working hard, without, by the way, trying to give that perception to your boss or your manager. Your boss or your manager is going to know whether or not you work hard and do your job. You do not need to tell them or impress them or send them any signals, because other people may see that and then believe that you're a kiss up, and nobody likes a kiss up either. You can't really fake being a hard worker. You just do it. And people notice. People notice who they do have to pick up the slack for and don't have to pick up the slack for. So if you are somebody who people can count on to do your job competently, remember, especially about 35% of the workforce, that's one of their main pet peeves: incompetent coworkers. That's it. They will not like you if they believe you are not competent. By the way, those people tend to drive Nissans, Toyotas, Hondas, and they tend to wear lots of black, navy, and gray. Just a heads up. Work hard. And the other people who work hard, no matter what your personality type is, tend to respect you. And everybody tends to like you more simply because you're not a slacker. Be mysterious. Remember that the key to showing somebody what it is that you have to offer, whether it's, a sense of style or humor or intelligence or strength, physical strength, whatever it may be. The key to doing that is to finding a way to serve people with that. You know what I mean? If you want to show everybody what a great cook you are, wait until it comes time where there's, a charity dinner and they need somebody to cook the food, and then you quietly volunteer and people discover, oh my gosh, this is the best succotash I've ever had in my life. Or, at work, if they need somebody to figure out, a new solution for the accounting dilemma in which they find themselves, and you offer your services and poof, save the day and get everybody raises while saving the company money, people will then notice that. If, the bookcase falls over on your supervisor and you run over and effortlessly lift it up, that's how people discover, oh my gosh, you have superhuman strength. What do you eat? When you take opportunities to serve, and that's when you let your gifts shine, people appreciate them. If you, however, amen, this is for you, try to teach people around you and show them, what dodo birds they are because you know what's up and they do not, you are doomed. Not only will people, not only will people think that you are arrogant and stuck up, they would die before admitting that you are intelligent or learned or whatever. If you want to show people how kind you are by being nice to people when other people aren't and being Mother Teresa, what people will think is you're a snake in the grass and you have something to hide, so stop trying to be so nice all the time when we all know you're not. If you want to show people, for example, that you're so strong, so you go around, wearing shirts that are too small, what people are going to think is, why do you keep shopping at Baby Gap? Why don't you get some clothes that fit and stop eating so much whey protein? It's a problem. Let people discover what your gifts are. always will. And remember that the most opportune times to display those gifts and use them and share them with others, which is what we should do, is when you are asked or have the opportunity to serve. Which brings us to the last thing that gets people to like you. Be kind. We are living in an age where everything has been kind of turned upside down. The global conversation has changed. The global dialogue is so toxic and different from how it's ever been in the past. And people are looking for some light in the end of their own tunnels. You know, we all live in our own tunnel. We all have an entire world that we are carrying around on our shoulders. We all have a huge battle that as we, go through the day and go through our motions, we sometimes forget that everybody around us, every single person, is going through a different form of the same stuff that we're all going through. We might think that we have these huge problems that, these people wouldn't even know how to respond to. They wouldn't know anything about it, our problems. But as a matter of fact, they would, because they're going through the same thing. We're all going through different versions of the same problem, at the same time. Everybody has a whole world they're carrying around with them. And everybody right now, especially more than ever, everybody really needs some kindness and some compassion in their lives. And if you look around, at the people who other people truly admire, who other people want to be around, who other people want to hire and work on their teams, who people want to marry, who people want to date, who people want to hang out with, truly want to hang out with, spend time with, share their lives with, you're going to notice that those who are most desired are kind, are compassionate. I was just reading that the only anti-bullying system in the whole world that has ever shown any hopes of working is, I believe it's Finland, I want to say Finland, where they're teaching kids to be compassionate and kind. And they're teaching those skills of compassion and kindness and sharing and teamwork for many, many years until kids get to the age where they would normally in the US be going in and doing horrible things at school. What they're doing is teaching kids how to be kind and compassionate because we're forgetting how to do that. And that is transforming schools and children and therefore, lives and countries. We're not really focusing on that as much as we should in the US or, around the world. And the study shows that, I believe that used to be something that was just in the human experience. We learn how to be compassionate and kind to one another. But, just like anything else, we go through an unlearning process. Let's relearn that, because above everything else, remember, there's nothing more attractive than kindness. There's nothing more powerful than compassion. We talk a lot about mindful communication, and I was just giving a keynote on this about mindful communication, and I was going back to one of the principles that we talked about. A lot of people worry, if it's at work or if you're at school, or if you're someplace where you want to impress your peers or impress the people around you, people worry about being seen as weak, How can I be kind and compassionate if I'm a stockbroker? Because, it's a real cutthroat business and I don't want to be seen as the weak link. But remember that if you want to be seen as the opposite of weak, again, going back to the 9 principles that I talked about in the first 5 lessons, the opposite of weakness is not strength. When you show yourself to be strong, whatever that means to you, that's not what keeps the planets rotating around the sun. Strength, the ability to stand up to anything or to, talk back to anything or to pound down anything or hit back at anything. When you look, for example, at some world leaders at the moment, some of them are really good at being nasty and hitting back, as they say. They can hit harder, they can hit stronger than other world leaders. Are they seen as desirable? Remember, especially if you are a world leader and you have the opportunity to have the ear of the whole world at once. If you want to show yourself as strong, there are many different ways to do that, but that's not the opposite of weakness. What keeps the planets revolving around the sun, or when you take things like a fuzzy, hungry little caterpillar and it dissolves inside of the cocoon and then emerges as a butterfly, does not, by the way, sprout legs and then wings and fly away. It turns into some cosmic goo and then re-emerges as a different being than it did before. What does that? Strength? I don't think so. The opposite of weakness is not strength. The opposite of weakness is love. That's what it is. That's what keeps the planets revolving around the sun. That's what helps that caterpillar emerge as a different being. That's what, once we are crucified in any way that you believe you have been crucified, helps us resurrect as a different being. You know that if you have been crucified, if you have dissolved into a cosmic goo, and if you've managed to keep yourself rotating around your axis point, you know that what keeps all those things going and what attracts us to other people and what makes us want to be with them, not just for the moment, but for a lifetime, it's not their ability to be strong. It's their ability to show love, and it's their ability to be kind and compassionate. So the more you can show that, again, we shouldn't have to fake it. You don't have to try to prove you are kind and compassionate. You just let yourself be. You allow yourself to remember what it's like when you recognize a need in somebody else to be loved, to be appreciated, to be accepted, and you just do that. That's what being kind and compassionate is all about. If you can do that, you will be the most attractive person and the most desirable person at work, at school, at your church social club, or any place else. So remember to subscribe to this channel for more tips like this. And if you have not yet gone to Dan O'Connor Training, be sure to go there and get your communication success kit before you come back here and watch more of these great videos.